Greetings, one and all. Welcome to my movie review of Mystery Alaska. We will be using the same structure that I used to review Slapshot in the first hockey movie review video that I've done, as I think it worked pretty well, and you guys seem to like it, I think. So let's get straight into it, shall we, folks? Right, Mystery Alaska was written by David E. Kelly and Sean O'Byrne, and it was directed by Jay Roach and released October 1st, 1999, with a cast featuring such names as Russell Crowe, quite a big name nowadays, Burt Reynolds, Colm Meaney, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and Mary McCormack. Now, Mystery Alaska is a comedy drama film that follows an amateur ice hockey team from the fictional small town of Mystery in Alaska, it kind of says from the name, but you know, that have an article about their dedication and enjoyment to their ritual-like Sunday game of hockey that's played every week on their frozen over pond in the town. So yeah, there's a game that's played. It's like a ritual for their community in this small town. They play a game of ice hockey. They have a certain men's team. Being selected as that men's team is basically like being drafted first overall in the NHL draft. You know, it's a pretty big thing for that town. And one of the people that comes from the town publishes the article on Sports Illustrated. The column claims the men of Mystery, the Mystery Men of course, cannot be beaten by any other team on a pond surface. This then leads to the New York Rangers of the NHL to make their way to Mystery Alaska in a publicity stunt for the NHL to play an exhibition game against the Mystery Men. And the story follows all the trials and tribulations that take place while trying to get the town ready for the big game against the New York Rangers. So it's a very interesting film, getting the New York Rangers on board, interesting idea. Comedy drama film, it's alright actually, I quite like it. So, the positives of Mystery Alaska. As a New York Rangers fan, this is more of a personal positive for me. It was awesome to see them make an appearance in the movie, and to kind of be the enemy of the mystery hockey team. I mean, it was very interesting as a Rangers fan myself to want the Rangers not to win. I kind of know how New York Islanders players and fans feel like now. It's also a proper underdog story that so frequently makes its round in sports films, but the choice of ending, I think, fits the tone and keeps the conclusion to the game realistic. I think the ending is very well done. I quite like how it is performed, the ending. I think they could have gone with a typical cliche ending, maybe. I don't want to spoil it, of course, no spoilers, but if you're interested, check out the ending and tell me what you think in the comments below. Also, it follows all the cliches of a sports film, bar the ending, which we just mentioned. But it is one of those guilty pleasure films that has a really good feel-good attitude to it. It's one of those films, if you're having a bit of a shit day, you can kind of just stick on and be like, yeah, it was really nice. I really enjoyed watching that. It's also pretty funny in places. There's some good lines and quips in the film. And it's pretty light-hearted most of the way through the film. There's a couple of bits where it's kind of like, oh, a bit like deeper, darker, mysterious. Not really, but nothing too crazy, but more like serious. But most of the time it's kind of like, yeah, we're light-hearted, you know, as you do. And finally, the other main positive for me, Phil Esposito's cameo as one of the commentators for the New York Rangers Mystery Men hockey game was a very nice touch, and it was a pleasant sight for any hardcore hockey fan. You're kind of like, it's Phil Esposito. Sure, we'll take a watch. And he actually does a pretty good job of commentating. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Phil got himself a commentating job after that film. Now, the negatives. Now, what I would say about this, there are a few more negatives compared to the positives. So, the negatives. Random sex scenes or talk about sex. Now, I know what you're thinking. Odd Man Rush, sex scenes are never a bad thing. But when the mayor's wife is shagging one of the players on the team, or he's trying to sneakily watch a hockey game, or when the star young player on the team tries to have sex with his girlfriend, but apparently he prematurely ejaculates. Whilst these scenes are pretty funny, or more cringe in the case of the second one could be quite cringy, quote unquote, whilst they're quite humorous scenes, they don't really add anything to the film. It just kind of feels like they're filler scenes to make the movie longer. Because the movie's about 2 hours long, I think. So, it's just kind of as if they went, we need something to add extra length to this film. Sex scene. Brilliant. Brilliant idea. Let's have 2 of them. No, let's have 3 of them. 3 sex scenes. Why not? It's all in good fun, isn't it, folks? Also, whilst it was awesome to see the New York Rangers in the film, unfortunately, the entire roster of the Rangers in the film was fictitious, as the team declined to offer the offer to be in the film. So they were offered to be in the film, they decided to decline the offer, maybe because they were busy actually playing games or whatever, I'm not quite sure. Which is a shame, I think that is a shame, but, you know, what can you do? I mean, it would have been nice to have the Rangers there, but you didn't. you had the brand, you had the jerseys, you had all that stuff, but not the actual range, which kind of takes a bit of the authenticity away from the whole situation. Definitely makes it fictitious. For anybody that was thinking, oh, this is a true story, you know it's not now. Also, though it may be a guilty pleasure, it is still cliche as hell and follows pretty much every single sports cliche imaginable, right down to the big, tall, tough player who is the softest player on the team, and he has to learn how to be big and tough and intimidating for the big game. He's like, oh, the coach will go, oh, go on, push me, go on. He'll be like, no, I don't want to. I like you, coach. Then he'll get really pissed off because the coach will start hailing insults at him. Then he'll shove him over and the coach will be like, you did good, kid. And he's like, yeah, I did good. Like, those sort of cliches, they're throughout the film. Like, whilst it is a guilty pleasure film, it is so cliche as hell. It doesn't really add anything to the genre in terms of storytelling, I don't think. Which, I mean, some might say it's a hockey film, just enjoy it for what it is. But at the same time, I like hockey films that try to push the boundaries a little more. Why not? Why should a hockey film have to fit loads of cliches? Also, the scenes of actual hockey at play were good. Like, there were a lot of good hockey scenes. But it felt like the film was cutting to different angles too much. Like, whilst I get hockey is fast-paced and it's difficult to get a proper true-to-life game on film for the film, just giving each shot another few seconds so the audience could actually process what's going on would have been quite useful. Like, you could have had the plays extended for a couple more seconds. There were quite a lot of shots in the actual hockey part of the game. It was very much like, if you blink, you missed. Like, either an important play or one of the leading plays up to an important play. So it's kind of like, oh god, like you're kind of going at a million miles an hour trying to figure out what's actually going on. And finally, the eventual coach of the team plays the typical, I'm against this idea of the Rangers playing here, and I used to play hockey and coach hockey, but those times are behind me. Until he sees a few kids playing hockey, like they always are, because they're shown several times in that small town playing hockey. Right at the start of the film, there's little children on the pond playing hockey. But it's only when he sees these group of kids playing hockey that he's like, I need to get back into hockey. I need hockey. Hockey is what makes my life great. It's like, okay, well, why did it take you like an hour and a half into the film to figure that out? You literally look at children play hockey every day around your small town. Even if you're running just normal errands, that happens. So why is it taking you 90 minutes just to figure out your love of hockey again? And then also, he's pissed off the entire film, this hockey coach. He's like, I hate my life. This is shit. Ugh, this is so rubbish. He's like an emo teenager, for goodness sake. And it really does get on your nerves. And don't even talk to me about his whiny son, who just wants to make his dad proud and not even think... He's a punk bitch the entire film, his kid. I like the actor that plays this guy. I think he's a great character. I think he was in Band of Brothers as well, and he was solid in Band of Brothers. Also, very good series. Go and check that out, Band of Brothers. Brilliant. Not hockey related, but very good nonetheless. I like the actor, but the character that he plays is just such a knob. It's kind of like, dude, stop whining. He's always like, Dad, I just want to make you proud. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't get to play in the Sunday game. And everyone's like, just like, we don't care. Like, nobody cares about that story arc. It's not interesting. With all the other stuff that goes on in the film, that one is the least interesting story arc of the lot. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And now it is time for my verdict on Mystery Alaska. So, Mystery Alaska has scored, drumroll please, it has scored a 6 out of 10 from me. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've praised this film quite a lot, Odd Man Rush. Why are you going for 6 out of 10? Now, this is because whilst it's funny and it puts a bit of a different spin on the classic sport underdog film ending, it's incredibly cliche and it doesn't really explore anything new within the genre. I mean, there are plenty... whilst this film was pretty good, there are plenty of better hockey films out there, I think. I think that kind of shows within the box office sales made. I think it made back like a third of the money it spent in the box office on the budget on the film. So it was an alright film, but I mean, compared to something like Slapshot, it's definitely not in the same league. And I mean, Slapshot still holds up the test of time. This was released like 18 years ago, and it feels a bit old, you know? So yeah, there is my review of Mystery Alaska. Go and check out the film if you're remotely interested in what happens. It's not a bad film. It's a good film to watch for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just sort of if you're having a bit of a bad day and you want to watch a new hockey film. It's got Russell Crowe in it. He's pretty decent in it. He's got very nice long hair as well. But yes, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to leave your opinion of Mystery Alaska or any other films you want me to review in the comments below. But please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.